found another fun item in the floorboards. It's like marbled underneath. So here's where we're at today. We are kind of in between projects at the moment because we are waiting on a gravel delivery so we can finish our French drain, but that can't happen until Friday. And we've also kind of put a pause on what we are not so affectionately dubbing the hurricane room and the heating situation in there, because I need to reflect a little bit on how I would like to deal with the heating and the pipes and where things are going. So that is on pause, and instead of sitting around and picking our noses, decided to open yet another project, but this one should, fingers crossed, be fairly manageable, and that is just to put some insulation in between the floorboards on the one section of the attic that is currently cleaned out. Now, many of you have already seen this process when we opened up the rest of the attic back in the fall, so I'll do my best to breeze through it and keep the most interesting parts, and as always, if you want to see the previous attic adventures, they'll be linked in a playlist in the description. And the reason that we want to do this is because if we can get that section like insulated and taken care of so that we don't really have to tear up the floorboards for any other reason, we can finally start sorting through, once the weather gets a bit nicer, start sorting through all of the things that are in the rest of the attic and throwing out what's garbage, and the things we want to keep, we now will have somewhere to put them on that cleared out section of the attic. So that is the plan. I am hoping that this does not take more than a couple days, but knowing the way things go around here, it's not likely. So let's go up in the attic, see where things are at. How's it going?
It has begun.
Nice.
But yeah, we should do the bottom and then work our way back up.
So Phil set to work carefully removing all the floorboards while I worked on repairing everything that was damaged in the process. These are century-old floorboards after all, so even with Phil being really careful, inevitably there were some that got damaged and had to be glued back together. So the whole goal of this process was to check out the status of the existing blown-in and to fluff up whatever was there, because it becomes much less efficient, less good at trapping the heat when it gets too compressed.
It's a full nest here.
Oh, really? Cute. Only one so far?
Yeah, so let's see. Oh yeah, there's no nest here. It's just a chilling spot for the birds.
They cool cats, those birds.
Yeah, there's a pool table and all.
Alright, get ready for a front row seat on this action here. Some serious fluffing action.
So we went in, just kind of aerated what was already in there, and definitely needed to top it up with some extra insulation as well. So it was a good thing that we had some saved in the basement from last fall. You can actually see us pulling it out of the walls and saving it in this shot here. So it just goes to show that, you know, it's always good to save and reuse when you can. It's good for the environment and it's good for your budget. And always nice to not have to run out to the hardware store yet one more time.
Oh, wow. Hooray for masks. Oh my god.
There's so much cellulose on my camera. Oh, I'm so sorry. Hold your breath, okay?
So that's the GAN. But also the cable is not copper. It's aluminum cable. Or steel. I don't think it's steel, probably aluminum. Maybe steel, but not copper. Yeah.
Is that what people mean when they talk about being a fluffer?
I'm sure that's what they mean.
Alright, I have officially pulled down all of the rags and towels from the attic ceiling, from the roof, because they have served their purpose. They worked super, super well to quench the flow of water that was pouring in from my roof. But now that it has better weather, and we were able to get outside on the top of the roof and patch it with actual shingles, it was time for me to pull these down. So I've got them down. I have removed the staples, and they are about to go in the laundry to remove what one of you affectionately termed roof syrup. Which means it is also the perfect opportunity for me to talk to you about today's sponsor, Blueland. Now, after my Clean With Me video last year, so many of you commented about how you'd been moving away from traditional detergents in an attempt to reduce your plastic use. And I will admit that I was shocked. I hadn't even considered that aspect. Like, it didn't occur to me how much plastic I was needlessly consuming as part of my normal laundry routine. So I was thrilled when Blueland wanted to work with me again because they are 100% plastic free. They use pre-dosed tablets. It's just compressed powder. It comes in compostable or recyclable packaging, so there's no plastic anywhere, and they're also free from a whole bunch of other things that you probably don't want in your cleaning products. Ammonia, phosphates, VOCs, parabens, chlorine, bleach, all of that, which means that they are safe to use around everyone in the family, from humans to our four-legged family members, which means it's not just clean, it is dog mom clean. Now, I've tried out their Spring Bloom fragrance, but I know that many of you mentioned you have a strong aversion to scented detergents, so you will be glad to note that they also have fragrance-free options as well. So if you'd like to be a little bit friendlier to the environment, you want to kick your plastic habit, Blueland is sharing a special offer just for my viewers. All you have to do to give them a try is to click the link down below or scan the QR code on screen and you will get 15% off of your first kit. So a big thank you to Blueland for sponsoring this portion of the video and for helping to get the roof syrup out of my towels. That went pretty well yesterday. It kind of felt a little bit useless in terms of it didn't feel like we were making massive changes or big progress or anything like that, but we did learn a lot about the structure of the attic and found some places that we definitely need to do repairs that we would not have known about before that. So we're gonna do the same thing again today. We're gonna go up, tackle the other half of that section of the attic, and then hopefully by the end of the day today, we'll be ready to move stuff over and start sorting out the attic at some point. Like, that section will be done. However, today is March 14th, which means it is Pie Day. So I foresee a sweet pie-filled break at some point in our future. So let's go get upstairs in the attic and get to work so that we can get to pie. Because that should always be the goal for everything. Every day, always pie. So if you've been here for the previous attic saga, you'll know that the current floor of our attic used to be the exterior roof for at least a few years after our house was built, when this was a 2-story house without an attic, which means that this was at one point an exterior wall, which explains why it is covered in tons and tons of old flashing material. Also, while digging around in the nooks and crevices and removing all that old flashing in the corners, we found a few cedar shakes, almost definitely left over either from the side of the house before the kitchen extension was added on, or from the old roof back when the house was 2 stories tall. Either way, very cool. Also, check out this beefy cut nail that I just found. That makes a total of at least 3 different sizes of cut nails that we have pulled out of this house. And since I was filming this on Pi Day, after all, I decided it was kind of perfect to store them in this vintage pie-shaped Tupperware.
So Phil's lost his phone, and he thinks it might be in the floor. So he's calling it, and if our floor starts ringing, we're gonna have to go digging. Oh my gosh.
Found it! On the vibration too.
Wow.
Hello! Hello.
Ta-da! Looking good? Looking good. With one half topped up and fully insulated, I could clean up the joists, and we started putting the floorboards back so that we could then move everything that was stacked up just behind the camera, off frame, over onto this nice, clean, warm section of the attic.
I have no idea where that went.
Remember that when we bought the house, it came with the whole attic packed full of junk and antiques. There are a ton of videos on all of that. And while we spent much of our first week in the house eliminating a lot of that junk, this section of the attic had become storage for all the items that we saved. This included bricks from when we tore down the chimney, but it also included several bags of torn up parquet flooring. Now, I never really covered this in the initial video. I don't even actually know if I was recording when I found these bags, but as soon as I realized what was in them, I insisted on saving them. They're definitely hardwood. They're either maple or, I suspect, actually oak, although it is a little bit harder for me to tell when the pieces are so small. But I think it's one of the coolest finds in the attic, actually, and I can't wait to do something with them eventually, so I am definitely saving these.
I might need a second bag.
Why?
Because it's heavy. Yeah, let's just get a second bag.
Alright, Shani. There's not that much left. If it's just that, put it in. I can carry it.
Okay.
I wonder what room there was in.
I don't know, like, maybe a kitchen? I really have no idea. Like, how much does this do?
So if you have any ideas what to do with this, please let me know in the comments below. It's probably too small to do any room in the house, but if there are smaller projects that come to mind, feel free to let me know down below. Also, while we were moving everything over to the other side of the attic, we made a very fun discovery about what our mantles probably look like under all that white paint.
Like, already just glancing down here, I feel like this section has not been opened up nearly as recently as the other side. Like, I feel like there might be some interesting treasures hiding in those dark crevices.
The fascia board there has been redone, which means it needed to be redone, which means the fascia is probably really good, but you can see that the top of the floorboards there were all rotten.
Yeah.
Yeah, that last few boards and like just here.
Oh, and the mantle.
Yeah.
That other mantle, probably from the study. Looks like they were originally black at some point. Like the stone is black. Oops, what did I just smash? More glass. Oh wow, it's like a marbled something or other. It's like marbled underneath. Wow. Wow, it's really pretty.
Those little stickers.
What?
The squirrels.
Good for them.
For now, I'm going to leave Phil to continue to work on the second half of the attic while I go get some pie supplies.
The flavor of the day was definitely pecan. Not only my favorite pie, but also very simple and quick to make. And here's a pretty good look at the current state of insulation. It's not empty. All of the joist bays have a fair amount of insulation, but it's compacted, it's uneven, there's years full of debris that have fallen through the cracks in the floorboards, plus there are the odd section here and there that are completely devoid of insulation. With the pie safely in the oven and a timer on my phone, it was back up to the attic where we were on nest number 4. So it's more of the same, going through and opening up the floorboards to fluff up the insulation that was there and add a little bit more. There was still a ton of old knob and tubing left in this section. It was probably all the electricity for the bathrooms below us, and it was already disconnected a long time ago. New wiring is already in place, but they left all of that old knob and tubing, so I figured while we had pretty easy access to it, I might as well pull out everything that I could easily reach.
I don't know if that's even in train. Oh, it's empty! No, it's empty!
For some reason, I really enjoy these ceramic insulators and I've kept them for now. I don't know if I'll end up doing anything with them, but I've got a couple buckets worth if anybody's got any ideas.
The gift that keeps on giving. Found another fun item in the floorboards. Don't know what this is, but probably we'll be doing research on it. Ooh, the mask. That mask is doing my face zero favors. Anyway, Gonna look into this later today.
So this was a really interesting and unexpected rabbit hole to go down. With my limited time, I was able to dig up that John Foreman ran an electric hardware shop in Montreal from at least 1898 through 1913. So right around the time that electricity was starting to become popular in homes. His shop was situated on 644 Craig Street, which is now St. Antoine, and this is what it looked like back then, and here is that same intersection now. Let's just pour one out for that sad, sad transformation. He sold arc lamps, electric meters, batteries, bells, and buzzers, basically all sorts of electrical supplies. In 1904, this newspaper article states that he had 4 employees that traveled Canada from coast to coast, obviously including Nova Scotia. Now, while I didn't find any article that specifically connected John Foreman with rosettes of any type, I was at least able to figure out what a rosette was. And it's basically an outlet box cover, often porcelain, like the ones shown here. And most interestingly to me was this advertisement, which pretty perfectly shows exactly the type of adjustable ceiling lamp that we have hanging above the pool table in the attic to this day. Now, is this tag from that lamp? Was it purchased from John Foreman sometime in the 1910s? We may never know, but I'd like to think that it was.
You were craving chocolate?
Yeah. There are so many feathers in this one. Not a great sign.
Not like birds are very destructive, you know?
I mean, honestly, it's probably great for insulation. It's just turning our attic into one big down pillow.
Yeah. It's adding to the insulation, if anything.
Yeah.
Should be thanking them.
Our R factor must be off the charts.
Alright, we've got everything all fluffed up, and what we kind of decided to do was we are missing a little bit of insulation, so we've taken all of the existing insulation and kind of shoved it to either side so that these 2 alleyways in the middle here, those are the only ones that are missing insulation. That way we could put all the rest of the floorboards back. Now we're just gonna go buy some more blown in, which is surprisingly cheap, by the way, and get a few bags and just dump it in right here, top that all up, and call it a day. And then eat pie. You ready for pie? Cheers. Happy pie day!